For over a decade, Janelle Brown has been a quiet but steady presence in the hearts of Sister Wives fans. Often viewed as the practical, thoughtful, and deeply independent second wife of Kody Brown, Janelle has always been someone who seemed to think long-term, calculate her steps carefully, and speak only when her words truly mattered. Her evolution from a dutiful wife in a plural marriage to a fully independent woman living life on her own terms has been one of the most compelling character arcs within the TLC series. And now, with her recent milestone achievement in Canada, Janelle Brown has taken yet another bold leap forward, one that not only represents her personal growth but also signals a powerful new beginning that transcends borders, boundaries, and past heartaches. Janelle's journey has always been one of understated courage. From the very beginning of Sister Wives, she was positioned as the more reserved counterpart to Christine's lively spirit, Mary's emotional intensity, and Robyn's late arrival with emotional depth and strategic positioning. But it didn't take long for audiences to see that Janelle was far more than just the second wife. She was the woman who helped manage finances, supported the family through difficult times, and raised her children with discipline and integrity. She worked tirelessly, often behind the scenes, to make sure her household stayed afloat. Her quiet strength, loyalty, and ability to operate with level-headed calm amid chaos made her a pillar of the Brown family. But being the backbone of a plural family came with deep costs. While Janelle rarely showed emotional vulnerability on camera, it was clear that over the years, her spirit was burdened by a lack of reciprocation and genuine partnership from Kody. As the show progressed, it became evident that Janelle was not receiving the love and support she deserved. She lived most of her married life in a separate home, raised her children without consistent help from Kody, and slowly began to distance herself emotionally from the man she once trusted with her future. Even when Kody shifted his emotional investment toward Robyn and began to neglect the other wives, Janelle maintained her dignity and refused to engage in destructive behavior. Instead, she turned her attention inward, started making changes in her life, and eventually decided to step away from the marriage that no longer aligned with her values. After her departure from Kody, Janelle entered a phase of profound personal rediscovery. This phase has culminated in one of the most significant events of her post-Brown family life, her milestone achievement in Canada. While Janelle has not publicly disclosed every detail of what this milestone entails, those close to her and longtime followers of the show understand that this accomplishment is more than symbolic. It represents freedom, expansion, and validation. Canada for Janelle isn't just a location. It's a gateway to a life she long suppressed while in a relationship that always demanded compromise. The journey to this milestone was not immediate. It was paved with introspection, hard work, and an unshakable belief that life after polygamy could still be fulfilling and empowering. Janelle spent much of her first year outside of her marriage focusing on wellness, both physical and emotional. She immersed herself in her health journey, championed products and wellness tools she believed in, and built a community of like-minded women who saw her not as a former reality star but as a mentor and source of strength. Her transformation was gradual but steady, and Canada became the backdrop for the next chapter of that transformation. Traveling to Canada became a symbolic act of stepping outside her old life. Janelle has expressed that the environment, the people, and the sense of peace she felt there contributed to a breakthrough she hadn't anticipated. She described long walks by the lake, quiet moments of journaling, and heartfelt conversations with people who saw her for who she was, not for the role she had once played in a famous polygamist family. In Canada, she says she found a version of herself that had been buried under years of emotional sacrifice. She began to dream again, plan again, and most importantly, believe again. The milestone she achieved, which fans believe may involve either a business expansion, new real estate venture, or even legal steps toward international residency, carries more emotional weight than any singular detail. stands as a declaration that Janelle is no longer tied to the narrative written for her by others. For years, her story was framed by her connection to Kody Brown, by her role within a plural marriage, and by her sacrifices in service of a family vision she no longer shares. Now in Canada, she is living by a different script, one authored entirely by her. One of the most powerful aspects of Janelle's story is how she never felt the need to act out or burn bridges in the process of moving on. Her departure from Kody was not filled with drama or explosive arguments. Instead, it was marked by quiet strength, mature conversations, and a clear boundary that prioritized her peace. That same energy followed her to Canada. Those who have encountered her there describe her as grounded, gracious, and deeply intentional about how she spends her time. Whether she's engaging with local entrepreneurs, exploring new cultural experiences, or working on her personal projects, Janelle brings a sense of purpose and presence that reflects the depth of her inner transformation. Janelle's Canadian milestone has also stirred conversations about what freedom truly looks like for women who have long been part of restrictive environments. Her story is inspiring not just because she left a difficult marriage, but because she built something meaningful from the ashes. So many women remain stuck in systems that don't serve them, whether religious, cultural, or familial, because they fear what comes next. Janelle is proof that the unknown doesn't have to be terrifying. It can be exhilarating, liberating, and transformative. Can lead to new lands, new relationships, and new achievements that once seemed impossible. Canada has given Janelle not just distance from her past, but a sense of belonging that she had longed for. Her reflections suggest that she feels more in tune with herself than ever before. She wakes up each day not with the dread of unfulfilled expectations, but with excitement for what lies ahead. She no longer has to shrink herself to fit within a narrow mold of obedience or tradition. She can speak her mind, pursue her goals, and be celebrated for it. The world of reality television has always been rife with shocking moments, emotional confessions, and life-changing journeys, but few stories have captivated audiences quite like that of the stars from TLC's long-running show Sister Wives. The series, which has followed Kody Brown and his once polygamous family for over a decade, has chronicled not only the day-to-day drama that comes with plural marriage but also the deeply personal transformations of the women who once called themselves sister wives. Now, in an astonishing turn that has stunned both devoted fans and casual viewers alike, one of the show's most beloved stars has taken a step that few expected. She has left America behind for a bold adventure overseas, embarking on a personal quest that has led to an extraordinary milestone that promises to redefine her life forever. When the first whispers emerged of a Sister Wives star planning to move abroad, many thought it could only be a fleeting fantasy or the plot of a special episode designed to juice ratings. However, what began as speculation quickly turned into reality when Christine Brown, the third wife of Kody Brown and the woman who made headlines in late 2021 by announcing her split from him, confirmed that she was packing her bags and heading out of the country. Christine's decision was not merely a vacation or a brief sabbatical but a full-fledged leap into a new chapter, one defined by independence, curiosity, and an unquenchable thirst for adventure that had long been stifled during her years in the polygamous lifestyle. Those close to Christine revealed that her motivation to leave the U.S. was rooted in her desire to rediscover herself after decades of putting the needs of a shared husband and a sprawling family ahead of her own. After her divorce from Kody, Christine had already stunned fans by relocating from Flagstaff, Arizona to Utah, choosing to live closer to her adult children and extended relatives who had always offered her unwavering support. Yet even in Utah, Christine began to feel the pull of something bigger, something far beyond the familiar mountains and suburban life she had built for herself. That pull, she later confessed in interviews, came in the form of a yearning to see the world and immerse herself in cultures that challenged and excited her in ways she could never have imagined while living under the rigid rules of her marriage. Her journey began in earnest when Christine flew to Europe, making her first stop in France. For years, she had dreamed of strolling the cobblestone streets of Paris, gazing up at the Eiffel Tower and tasting authentic French pastries in a tiny café tucked along the Seine. To many who followed her on social media, her trip seemed like a light-hearted European getaway, a chance to blow off steam and indulge in long-postponed pleasures. But Christine was not content with simply visiting tourist attractions. She immersed herself in local life, taking language classes to learn French basics, cooking lessons to master classic dishes, and cultural workshops where she gained a deeper appreciation for France's rich history and art. What shocked her followers even more was the revelation that Christine wasn't planning to return home anytime soon. Instead, she rented a modest flat in the heart of Lyon, a city far from the tourist hustle of Paris but bursting with culture, cuisine, and a vibrant community of locals who embraced her with surprising warmth. Lyon became her home base as she began exploring neighboring countries on weekends, traveling by train to Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. Each journey added new stories to her growing repertoire of adventures, hiking the snowy peaks of the Swiss Alps, floating through Venice's romantic canals, and dancing until dawn in the pulsating clubs of Barcelona. As weeks turned into months, Christine's confidence grew immeasurably. In America, she had often been seen as the wife who put on a happy face for the cameras while struggling behind the scenes with feelings of neglect and isolation. In Europe, however, she discovered a side of herself that was bold, spontaneous, and unafraid to face life head-on. Friends and fans marveled at the photos she shared online, images of Christine grinning widely atop a mountain summit, toasting new friends at a vineyard in Tuscany, or posing under the glowing lights of a centuries-old cathedral. These snapshots painted the portrait of a woman reborn, a woman who had finally claimed her own happiness. The most exciting chapter of her journey unfolded in Ireland, where Christine decided to participate in a walking pilgrimage along the country's ancient coastal trails. She hiked the Dingle Way, a rugged path that hugs Ireland's stunning southwestern coastline, offering sweeping views of emerald hills, crashing waves, and sleepy seaside villages. Along the way, she journaled daily, documenting the lessons she learned with each step: the value of solitude, the resilience required to push through physical exhaustion, and the joy that comes from striking up conversations with strangers who quickly became friends. It was during this pilgrimage that Christine achieved what many believe to be the most significant milestone of her post-Sister Wives life. After years of feeling invisible and voiceless in her marriage, she finally felt truly seen, not just by others but by herself. She described it as an epiphany, a moment when she realized that the only approval she ever needed was her own. That revelation became the cornerstone of her newfound identity, sparking plans for an even more ambitious goal: to write a memoir chronicling her incredible journey from a life constrained by polygamy to the liberating adventures of her European odyssey. News of Christine's time abroad spread like wildfire among Sister Wives fans. Social media pages dedicated to the show buzzed with excitement, admiration, and even disbelief. Viewers who had watched her struggle for years celebrated her bravery, cheering her on from afar as she continued to chart a course entirely her own. Some critics tried to diminish her achievement, suggesting she was simply running away from her problems. But Christine's unwavering commitment to personal growth and her refusal to hide from challenges proved her naysayers wrong time and time again. Christine's European adventure also carried a ripple effect back home. Her decision to leave America and live boldly inspired countless women, many of whom had never watched a single episode of Sister Wives, to reevaluate their own lives. Messages poured in from women who shared stories of overcoming toxic relationships, rediscovering passions they had long abandoned, and daring to do things they never thought possible because Christine showed them that reinvention was always within reach. Meanwhile, Christine's children supported her fully, with many visiting her abroad during school breaks and vacations. Their visits became cherished reunions filled with laughter, exploring local markets and bonding over fresh experiences that deepened their already strong relationships. These moments reassured Christine that while her journey had taken her far from home, it had only strengthened the ties that mattered most. Her milestone achievements were not confined to travel and personal growth alone. In a move that stunned even those closest to her, Christine secured a deal with a major publisher to write her memoir, tentatively titled Boundless: My Journey Beyond Sister Wives. The book promised to offer a raw, honest look at her life in polygamy, the heartbreak of divorce, and the exhilarating rebirth she experienced while embracing the world beyond the confines of her old life. Early buzz suggested that the memoir could become a bestseller, especially among readers eager to understand the true cost of a life built on secrets and sacrifices, and the extraordinary power of self-liberation. As Christine's star rose in Europe, word spread in American entertainment circles that networks were eyeing her for her own spin-off series. Producers recognized the appeal of a show that would follow her adventures abroad, highlighting not only the beauty of the places she visited but also the emotional transformation that unfolded with each new destination. The idea of Sister Wives fans tuning in weekly to watch Christine live her best life across Europe sparked intense interest, and negotiations reportedly began almost immediately, with several streaming services expressing serious interest in bringing Christine's journey to screens worldwide. Cody Brown and the remaining Sister Wives cast members were said to be taken aback by Christine's meteoric rise. Insiders close to the family revealed that Cody had initially dismissed Christine's travel plans as a phase, assuming she would soon come running back. Instead, he watched from afar as his ex-wife thrived in ways that exposed the cracks in his own carefully curated image. Some sources claimed that Christine's success even fueled tensions between Cody and Robyn, who had long been seen by viewers as his favorite wife, as they struggled to navigate a shifting narrative in which Christine, once relegated to the background, now stood at the center of attention. Christine's bold leap into the unknown also sparked conversations among her former sister wives, Mary and Yanel. Both women, who have faced their own challenges and questions about their futures, began to publicly express admiration for Christine's courage. Yanel, in particular, praised Christine for showing that life after polygamy could be not just survivable but joyful and fulfilling. Mary, while still on her own path of self-discovery, admitted that seeing Christine live unapologetically inspired her to push harder toward her own dreams, whatever they might be. As Christine continued to build her new life overseas, her sense of purpose deepened.